Hello. Hello, nail people. Come on in. My screen's really blurry today. Let's put my coffee down for a second. Hi, Kate. Hi, Andrea. Let's see if I can... Oh, that's better. That's better. All right. Hi. Cut it out. All right. Today... Thanks. Today we have my Mrs. Mickey mug, and Mr. Nails Over Coffee was drinking out of his Mr. Mickey mug earlier. So welcome, welcome. Come on in, invite your followers, invite your friends. See how many people we can get in here. Hello, Dana Lynn. I think I'm going to be reading your name here in a minute, Dana Lynn. All right, we'll let everybody get joined in. And hello. And then I'm going to read off some winners first, because that was really exciting. It was kind of fun to watch my my Facebook feed blow up from all my friends. So, okay, so the first ever Nailympia USA was this last weekend at the Bessel Nail Show in Texas. And so I got to see lots of people's work come up on my Facebook feed during the competition and the show, which was really fun. And so the list is posted of the winners now. And so I'm going to read them. So I think it might say on here, let me look first. I know that Division 1 was people who have never competed before. Division 2 was people who had competed before, and Division 3 was masters, and they had to enter like a certain number of different categories to be able to do their thing. So okay, so the winners were announced at the ceremony on Sunday the 2nd of April. And so the results are for Soak Off Gel Manicure. Let me get my little thing here. For Soak Off Gel Manicure in Division 1, third place was Bernice Melendez. Second place was Stacy De La Fuente. And first place was Holly Skippers. Yay! Yay, Holly. Your Soak Off Gel Manicure was beautiful. And would we expect anything less from the fingernail fixer? Division 2, third place was Jennifer Worth. Second was Rosanna Dudley. And first place was Jessica Briarmoon. Yay! Jessica Briarmoon. And Division 3, third place was Igul Fritz. I apologize if I butcher anybody's name. Second place was Madeline Wolf. And first place was Allie Baker. So, gel tip and overlay. Division 2, we didn't have a Division 1. Division 2, third place was Jennifer Worth. Second place was Linda Reyes. And first place was Jessica Briarmoon. Division 3, third place was Allie Baker. Second place was Gwen Littlefield. And first place was Madeline Wolf. All right, salon nails, which I think is what I would enter if I was ever going to enter a competition. Never felt the need to do it, but if I was ever going to, it would probably be salon nails. Division 1, third place, Dana Lynn Stockwood. Second place, Lori Anastas. First place, Phoenix Van Dyke. Division 2 in salon nails, third place, Jennifer Worth. Second place, Kwak Wen. Sorry if I messed that up. And it's first name I'm not sure about. And first place, Jessica Briarman. Yeah, guys, I wasn't there to meet everybody and get to hear the results in person, so I'm winging it. And Division 3 for salon nails, third place was Gwen Littlefield. Second place was Madeline Wolf. And first place was Allie Baker. Acrylic tip and overlay, Division 1. Third place was Dana Lynn Stockwood. Yay to fun fancy nails. Second place, Lori Anastas. and first place, Phoenix Van Dyke. And in Division 2, third place was Jennifer Worth, second place was Linda Reyes, and first place was Jessica Breyermoon. And in Division 3, third place was Shannon McCowan, second place was Allie Baker, and first place was Madeline Wolf. All right, for mixed media, I gotta take a drink of coffee. For mixed media, Division 1, third place was Stacy De La Fuente, second place was Dana Lynn Stockwood, and first place was Jessica Wozniak. I think that's close. Wozniak. Division 2, third place was Kelsey McQuay, second place was Hemi Park, and first place was Lisa Bennett. In Division 3, second place was Shannon McCowan, and first place was Michelle Baker. In the stiletto nails, super talent. Division 1, first place, Phoenix Van Dyke. Division 2, third place was Kwok Wen. Second place was Jessica Breyermoon, and first place was Hemi Park. And in Division 3 for stilettos, third place was Shannon McCowan, second place was Gwen Littlefield, and first place was Allie Baker. In the fantasy complete look category, Division 1, second place was Kamisha Winfield, and first place was Stacy Luffy. Yay, Stacy. Stacy's right by me. Used to work with her, in fact. Division 2, third place was Rosanna Dudley. Second place was Kimberly Haar, and first place was Jennifer Worth. And then in Division 3, first place was Igul Fritz. For acrylic sculpture, Division 2, third place was Jennifer Worth. Second place was Kwok Wen, and first place was Jessica Breyermoon. In Division 3, in sculptured acrylic, third place was Gwen Littlefield, second place was Allie Baker, and first place was Madeline Wolf. For perfect match, Division 2, third place was Linda Reyes, second place was Jennifer Worth, and first place was Jessica Breyermoon. Division 3, third place was Allie Baker, second place was Gwen Littlefield, and first place was Madeline Wolf. So the winner of winners for Division 1 was Phoenix Van Dyke with 294 points. The winner of winners for Division 2 was Jessica Breyermoon, who's also not too far away from me, with 291 points. And the winner of winners Division 3 was Madeline Wolf with 385 points. And the individual top scorer with 554 points, that's crazy, was Allie Baker. So congratulations to everybody who competed and won in Nailympia, the first Nailympia USA. Super cool. So since that was about a show we were talking about, right? I know, isn't that so fun? Something that came up in one of the groups was, it was a new tech, and she's looking at going to the Vegas show, and she's super overwhelmed and super confused. Like, she doesn't really know, you know, she's kind of overwhelmed. She doesn't really know how to do the whole thing. So my hair was kind of freaking me out. Okay. So I had done this a while back last year, right before, the Oregon show, but I went back and looked on YouTube and I couldn't find it. And in fact, I used to have like 350 videos on YouTube, and now it's only telling me I have 162. So I don't know what that's all about. But so in any case, here we are to do the how to work a show again. So, okay. So when we talk about how to undertake a show, this is one of those cases where like an hour of pre-planning will make your life way easier. First of all, no matter how small your education budget is, shows are the place, especially the Nails Only networking events, are the place to get the best bang for your education buck. So, they're all over now. There's the Massachusetts Nail Networking event now with Dana Lynn up in the Northeast. There is the Premier Orlando show for those in the Southeast. That's a big show, not a Nails Only show, but it's got a huge nail following and turnout. There's the Nail Tech networking event of the Smokies in Gatlinburg. There is the Best Little Nail Show in Texas, which we just had this last weekend. There is the Portland, in Portland, the One Nail Expo in Portland. There is, and then there's all kinds of, and then if you're in Canada, there's all the CNTC events in Edmonton, and there's one over in Ontario, I think, but I lose track of which one, which one's which. And then there's, you know, and then when you're talking about internationally, there's Cosmoprof shows and there's all kinds of stuff. And then there's small, you know, there's shows. There's ISSE Long Beach in California. There's Pasadena Nail Pro. There's Sacramento Nail Pro. When you start talking about events, CNTC is in Niagara Falls, Canada this year. Good to know. Thank you, Kate. See, I can always count on you guys for stuff. There is, you know, and then we've got ABS Chicago, which is big for nail stuff. And then, you know, so there's lots of opportunities. So you don't even have to travel too far if you just plan ahead. So pick one. Maybe you travel to it. Maybe you don't. Maybe you circulate different shows, different years. Pick one a year at least and go to that. Like I said, if you're looking for real smaller, intimate, more one-on-one time with the educators, then the nail networking events are really good. If you're looking to just see like broad spectrum of lots and lots of products, then, you know, like Premier Orlando is awesome. Plus, of course, I'm down with that because, you know, Disney right there down the street. But, so the first thing you got to do is pick out which show you're going to go to and figure out your budget, you know, how much it's going to cost you to get there, how much the tickets are, all those kind of things. Then on all of the websites, there is a vendor list. So the very next thing you want to do is you want to go to the vendor list and you want to print that out, copy and paste it to another document, whatever, so that you have that list easily accessible all the time. And you want to check the education. The first thing you're going to do is check for free education. If there is free education going on in classrooms on the day of the show, which is a big thing if you're talking about, it happens a lot at the bigger shows. So Vegas and some of the Cosmoprof shows and Premier shows, there's education going on in classrooms during the showtime. So the first thing you want to do is you want to look up and see what classes are available during the show. And then you're also going to look and see what classes are available in concert with the show, around the show, and see what kind of educational opportunities there are for those kind of things. So you want to really know who's going to be there and what's going on. Then the next thing that you want to do is, as you get closer to actually heading out for the show, if there is a show map online, print out your show map, although you will probably get one at check-in that will be significantly more updated. It'll give you an idea, if nothing else, not necessarily the who's where in the show, but it'll give you an idea of the general layout of the floor, so you can kind of figure out your plan of attack. Andrea notes, especially if you're in a state where you need continuing education hours, you can do those hours at the shows. Correct, Andrea. Absolutely. And while I wish every state had continuing education hours, as of right now, not yet. So we're working on it. It's a work in progress. So you want to kind of have the lay of the land, especially if you're somebody who gets a little overwhelmed in crowds. It can get really, really hustle bustle in the shows. And so if you're somebody who tends to get overwhelmed in crowds, the more you know ahead of time, the better off you're going to be. Now, here's where that list comes in handy. Okay, the list that you printed out of the vendors that are going to be there. Because you're going to go down that list, and the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to highlight with a highlighter, good old-fashioned highlighter. You're going to highlight the vendors that are going to be there that are products you already use for services in your salon. So you definitely want to hit these vendors, and you want to be thinking ahead of if they have new products that you want to try, but you want to be able to buy in a smaller quantity or maybe get a show special for. These are the products that if you get so sometimes at a show, you can do things like they'll have a special that if you buy $100, you get $20 in free product. Or if you buy this certain kit, then you get this certain kit for free or for a discounted price or whatever. These vendors that you routinely buy from that maybe have some product that you can stock up on at a show special, or maybe they've got some things you want to try out and they're people you already buy from all the time, that product is product that's cost per service for your salon. So that money doesn't really come out of your show budget. That money comes out of your supply budget because you were going to spend that money anyway. Now you're just going to try and get a little more bang for your buck with that money. And especially if you've driven if it's been close enough that you've driven to the show, then you can definitely use that time to stock up on things. The second budget you have is for things that you will use in your services that are maybe niceties if they're a good enough deal. So now you're going to look through the vendors, and like for me, for example, one of mine would be, bye Kate. One of the things that I would look for is if Wildflowers was going to be at the show, because there's lots of products for nail art that I'd like to buy from Wildflowers, but I have a limited budget for monthly nail art purchases, and maybe I saved a month or two ahead of time of the show, and maybe I can't exactly budget because some of these things I've only seen online or in videos, and so I'm not going to know until I get there in person if it's something I actually want to buy. So that's my budget for. It's things that will actually make me more money, but it's kind of extra. So it's not like my table towels and acrylic monomer and clear gel and gel brushes and forms. And it's not and base coat and top coat for shellac. And it's not things that I would normally do. These are the kind of things like new nail art glitters or brushes, or maybe the gel art paints or something from Wildflowers. Or if I'm going to expand my color collection, if there's a special or some colors that I don't know that I want for Dazzle Dry until I see them in person, they're going to make me more money, but they're not something I'm already factoring into my cost per service. So that's kind of my second budget. Then my third budget is my total research and development budget. Okay, so for example, in an R&D budget is things that I just want to try just because I'm a nail tech and I'm curious and I don't know if it's a service I would ever include, but I know I just gotta have it. I just gotta try it. And this is the category where if you do not set a budget for yourself, you can come home from the show going, how am I going to pay my power bill for the next 3 months? Because you have spent way more money than you had in your research and development budget. So when you're looking down the list of vendors, you're looking for people that may have things that you are definitely going to want to hit their booth and maybe check out something. Maybe you get to see a demo of something that you've never seen before other than online. So for example, if I haven't even looked at the whole list of vendors yet because I'm not in my couple weeks prior to the show pre-planning part yet. But when I go to the Oregon show next month, I'm looking to see if anybody's going to be carrying the Gelish Polygel. If they are, that the small kit of that is in my research and development budget. And if my research and development budget for the show is only $100 and that kit is $70, well then guess what? $70 of my R&D budget is going to that small kit, because if I can get my hands on that ish, I gotta try it. So knowing ahead of time if that's going to be there will help me so that I don't get caught walking in the door, and before I even get halfway through the show, I've already spent my whole budget and I didn't get to spend it on the things that I wanted, and so now I don't have any more budget. So the R&D budget is also a great time for things like last year, I really wanted to try the Luxio, the Accents Luxio gel polish. I wanted to know if I liked the consistency of it and everything. So I had in my mind, in my budget, at least one bottle of Luxio. So when I was at the show, I made sure that I stopped and got some Soft Landings towels from Love Nails. I made sure I got some Soft Landings towels, and but see, that Soft Landings towels is in my cost per service. That's not my R&D budget. And I made sure that I picked up a bottle of Luxio because I wanted to try that. And I also got a couple things of Gel Play because I wanted to try those and have those. And Bling On. I knew I needed Bling On, so I got some of that too. And Bling On was in the second category. It wasn't anything that I had to have. I've been able to attach stones with glue and seal it in with my gel top coat around it and all that kind of stuff. But I had some Crystal Pixie and I wanted to have, everybody recommends Bling On to go with the Crystal Pixie. So I wanted to get some Bling On. So it's going to make me money. It made me money, but it's not part of my regular cost per service that I structure everything on. It's that little wishy-washy part of my cost per service in my art upcharges and those kind of things. But it wasn't really research and development because I knew I was going to get it. So, but the Luxio was. So by being able to break out what you want, to be able to have an R&D budget so that you're constantly trying new things, you're figuring out if what you're using for your clients is still the best thing you could be using for your clients. When you see new things, this is a good time to pick them up so you don't have to pay for shipping charges, where you do if you just are ordering willy-nilly. And it's really hard to order one bottle of polish or one little polish kit or one little polygel kit or one little robot dandruff or whatever from wherever. That gets really expensive when you start adding shipping charges and little orders here and there. So, the shows are a great time to do that. The other thing that you want to make sure you do at a show is you want to look down that list of vendors and see if there's vendors who you either use or you're interested in using their products, that you want to make sure you get a demo FaceTime with that person working the booth. So, like, for example, when I go to Oregon next month, I have a very specific question about Masterworks that I want to ask Amy Becker when I see her. So I'm going to make sure I allot enough time to hover around the Masterworks booth until I can put my butt in the chair so that I can ask Amy to demo this thing on me if I haven't already seen her demo it on somebody else, so that I can see and ask the question of how to do something. That's like a top focus for me. I know that I'm going to spend a chunk of time at Amy Becker's booth because it's busy and she's busy, but I have one very specific question I want answered. I want to see the brushy bit from Atwood. I want to see that in action. Because I like the idea of being able to get all down in the sidewalls and get all the glitter and dust out when I'm doing some nail art stuff or before I seal it down. And I've been using a plastic manicure brush and kind of getting in there with a really stiff art brush, but I want some brushy bits. Well, if I get an opportunity to see the brushy bits in action, then that's, what I want to do. Andrea notes, and I need to take orders from everybody to buy you guys the polygel. Yes. Trust me, I will be broadcasting from the show the day of, all day. And if I get an opportunity to, PayPal, have everybody PayPal me money to get, polygel, then I will. Although now I'm kicking myself for not having people get it for me from Chicago, where clearly I had a bunch, and now I'm getting really good, feedback from people. Everybody's like, Andrew's like, oh, I'll pay, right? So if you're feeling overwhelmed about the idea of going to a show for the first time, remember that planning and budgeting. And you guys, realistically, a show ticket for $40, $50, $60. Again, the earlier you buy your ticket, the cheaper it's going to be. The early bird price is the best price you're going to get. So planning ahead is your friend. Same thing with if you want to take classes before or after the show, please, for the love of all that is holy, will you not wait until 2 weeks before the show to either pay for the class and hope that it doesn't get canceled because everybody else in the world isn't doing what you're doing, or get all cranky because now it's sold out. Look at the classes ahead of time, plan what classes you're going to take, and as soon as you see those classes go up, as soon as you're pretty sure that most of the classes that you think are going to be offered, or if you see the classes you want are already there, sign up for them as soon as you see them. That helps the educators plan better, that helps the manufacturers plan better, and it makes it so that if everybody gets signed up ahead of time, then they know what product they're shipping ahead of time. You're going to get way better swag kits out of it because they know what they're sending long in advance. So don't wait and run the risk of a class getting canceled. Network shows are a great time to get that hands-on education. So if you've been looking for an e-file class, factor that into your budget for the year for education and for shows, and get an e-file class while you're there, you know? So pick a show, pick any show. Oh, Andrea, we don't talk about that kind of stuff on this show. This show is fun nail stuff, none of that. So basically pick out your show, figure out your budget. Even if your budget is next to nothing, even if you're not buying supplies for a couple of weeks before the show, kind of saving up your supply budget to see if maybe you can get a little bit of bonus stuff, and say you're going to buy $200 in your normal supplies. Well, then you go to the show and you get everything on that list and you end up saving like $15 because you got, instead of $200, it only cost you $185. Well, now you can take that $15 and you can put it either into the makes me money but not a life or death thing budget, or you can put it in the R&D budget and spend $15 on something that you really want to try that you never have. So buy your ticket early so that you can budget more for other things. And if the only thing you do is blow your entire education budget and your entire R&D budget for the year on the one show that you go to, then do that. The networking you get out of it, the energy you get out of it, the education you get out of it is something that it really needs to be factored into your business plan as a cost of doing business. And now, it used to be that we only had a handful of shows a year around the country, and there was like 5 nail booths and they were shoved in the corner and you got ignored other than all the hair stuff or whatever. We don't have that anymore. We have nail networking events. If you can afford to go to the Northwest Nail Tech Retreat, which we also call Nail Camp, it happens here up in the Northwest. It's $500, give or take, for 4 days, 3 nights, includes lodging, includes food. All you got to do is get here, and there's classes all day, and there's swag bags, and there's fun stuff at night, and it's nail camp, and it will completely, if you're somewhat new to the industry, or even if you're a veteran, it will completely change your career. And any one of these shows has the potential, if you were to take that same $500 and sink it into going to a show, paying for a hotel, taking a class or two, spending some money on some R&D, taking your time. I watch people leave shows early all the time. Don't. Spend the whole day. It doesn't matter how small the show is. It doesn't matter if it's 12 booths. If you are leaving early, then you're not getting everything you can get out of the show. If you feel like you've walked around and you've seen everything, then pick a booth and a product that looks interesting and go park it by that booth all day and see if you pick up some little piece of knowledge you didn't know before. Put a sign on your forehead that says who you are and that you want to take pictures to put up on Facebook, broadcast on Periscope Live. Dana Lynn says, some come just for the swag bag. Absolutely. You guys want to know how I found Dazzle Dry? I found Dazzle Dry in my Nail Tech Retreat swag bag. We got the little mini kits, which was incredibly generous from Dazzle Dry. And that's how I got to try the whole system. And that's how I fell in love with it. Completely changed my career. So you never know where it's going to come from. So you totally don't miss a thing. If the show is from 9 to 4, you plan on being there from 8 to 5. Like, you plan on being there early, being in line. I'm going to do the same thing I did last year, which is I'm going to broadcast from the line before we all get in, talking to people about what they're interested in looking at. And then spend your time going through the booths. Touch everything, look at all those polish colors and gel polish colors that you never get a chance to really know what color they are because you're always looking at them online. Look at them in person. Know ahead of time what vendors are going to be there and start thinking about what kind of questions you're going to ask those vendors. Trust me, the people who are working in those booths are the subject matter experts in whatever product that is in that booth or whatever service that is in that booth. So if you have any questions about that product, then those are the people to ask. So it's important. You're not going to be overwhelmed. If you plan ahead, get a list of the vendors, figure out what each of the vendors falls into your 3 categories, set your budget ahead of time, bring cash if you have to, for your, or a prepaid gift card or whatever for your R&D budget, so that that's the one that everybody blows their budget on. You just have to plan better. And for the most part, take one walk around the floor to see who's there. And buy the things that you know you will absolutely consider the weekend a fail if you leave there without. I promise you, if Polygel is at the Oregon show and I screw around and don't get any before it sells out, I will call that a weekend fail. So trust me when I tell you, if I find out there's a booth there that's going to have Polygel, that is going to be the very first place I walk to when I walk in the door. And I'm also not going to tell any of you about that until after I've already been there, because I don't want anybody to beat me to it because I told you guys. So everybody should be going to a show. Everybody should be planning ahead of time. And if you're new, don't be overwhelmed. If you get lost, ask somebody. Those of us who've been going to shows forever will totally help you. Find a show buddy and follow them around. Go to one show a year. Call it your educational event for the year if you have to. No matter how small your budget is, this is what you need to do. We can look online and we can watch procedures and we can join the University of Nails and we can take classes. We can do all those things. It doesn't equate out to what you get in one at least 8, 9, 10 hour show and class day a year. It will completely change your career. So I will make sure that I get this posted up because I had quite a few people asking me about the show thing. And I'm going to finish my coffee up here and skedaddle out of here and go back to binge watching Netflix, which is what I was doing today after I got my office work done until the show. So I just did a new blog post today. It's at thenailrogue.com. You can go to the Nail Rogue blog and see the article that was in the March-April edition of Beauty Addicted in Italy. I printed it, I put it up on my blog in English on dipping systems, and that just went up today. And then I just submitted another article for nail trends around the world that will be in the next issue of Beauty Addicted. So, which if you read Italian, that's good for you. If not, I will post it as soon as the magazine comes out. I let the magazine come out. I let there be some web traffic up to that. And then I post it in English on my blog. Thank you, Francesca, for letting me do that. All right. And so that's it. I did some blog things and I've got some video stuff going on and lots of things going on. So new videos being made for the University of Nails right now. Hands-on videos that will be free as a part of your membership. All right, guys, I'm out of here and I will see you on Monday at 1 p.m. my time. So have a good weekend. Have a nail-tastic weekend and I will see you Monday. Bye. Congratulations to all the Nailympia winners. Take care.